Yeah, that's the best thing. I love doing just that.
Yeah.
I could do that all day.
I know.
It's like, I don't know. I didn't want to change. I don't want to change. If once you're in sync with a drummer,
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a lot of blues-based rock and roll. I call it honking.
Honking. Yeah, you do.
You hear me say, well, just honk on that for a while. And when I'm teaching kids to play, I'm like, just get this man go. Just honk on that for a while.
It's so good.
I love that because there was an Aerosmith album, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. There's a blues record and they called it Honkin' on Bobo. And I'm like, oh, that's there you go. That's honking.
Very nice.
I think the Southern rock guys, Lynyrd Skynyrd called it jukin', like jukin'. I don't know if it come from Jukebox Live with beers, but it's kind of a good segue, the jukin', the honkin'. We obviously come from what they call pub rock, which is it's a strange thing in itself because
we're always at the pub. Yeah.
Oh, welcome to episode 3, by the way.
Episode 3. This is how far we've gone so far.
Yeah, so we last. What
were we doing last?
Last time we went from Rolling Stones to Iron Maiden, as you do.
Who would know? Who would think that?
As you do. So I guess what's going to come out today is guitar playing, obviously, and there's a lineage with how we play guitar and how this pub rock thing is. And just with the pub rock thing, it's a really strange thing. Like even like bands like Cold Chisel, Midnight Oil, In Excess, they were pub rock bands. It's like kids, they were selling out 1,800 tickets to 2,500 tickets in big clubs, not pubs. They were real big. They could sell tickets. And we used to sell tickets, and we used to sell at all those big venues. And you're talking semi-trailers and the whole bit. But yeah, we grew out of pubs, and that's a cool thing. But sometimes I find that term pub rock it's got a bit of yin and yang. It's like, yeah, hang on, this band's much bigger than that. They didn't need a festival of 25 bands that no one's heard of to sell tickets.
That's right.
And that's what it used to be like when it all started. It's like these guys can't get arrested in a pub or a club. They can't sell tickets, but when they're on this cool festival, everyone's there. So anyway, just I don't want to digress, but the pub thing is. I'm going to go back to Australian guitar players. We used to hit the stage and there was nothing left after a gig. It was brutal. It was just bang, 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 energy, energy, energy. Even if it was like you're playing a slower song, it was people expected that because in a pub and it was vibrant, it was electric, and it
was quite small. It was intimate, really.
It was intimate, but they wanted power. They did want power. People wanted power from entertainment back then. You got to remember when Richie and I were touring, there was no mobile phones.
We had a big brick at one stage. I think we got at the end.
We had the actual brick. There was a brick. I still remember seeing my first fax machine in Chris Farley's, who's wonderful long-term booking agent. I've been with Chris for various things since I was 15. I remember seeing the first fax machine ever go, hang on, how does that come out of here?
That's right. And where's it go?
It was amazing. So anyway, we're getting back to the roots of pub rock, if you will, from our perspective, because it's an Australian thing, the term. But in the States, it was bar. They're all bars. And so I sort of wanted to come from, I was talking about Rolling Stones last week, and I sort of want to go from that to what inspired them. And Chuck Berry is one of the guys. And I don't get too bogged down on Chuck Berry, but there's a lot of guys like, Jimmy Reed and Howlin' Wolf and all that sort of stuff that the Stones were into. And I was right into that stuff. They made bars rock in a blues way, probably, certainly the 50s. Okay, so you're talking 50s. You got the Stones and the Beatles, 1963, I think they started. 61 maybe, the Beatles. You'll have to check that, you aficionados. We're going back 50s, so your Stones and your Beatles and that, they're listening to these black guys' records from the 50s. So I certainly want to unpack a bit of that. But then I just want to elaborate on that. We have pub rock. They had rock bars because people in bars they want to be rocked, and so the Americans did that with the blues. And then there's a whole other microcosm of blues and bars in Texas. And we used to smash Texas. Jets used to go through Texas all the time. We did really well in Texas because they understood our mongrel when we were on stage, you know. So I wouldn't mind just having a look.
And volume.
Absolutely. And this came from, we actually played at Anton's where Stevie Ray used to play and Albert King and all these guys. Yeah. And it allowed blues that turned into sort of boogie rock and roll. So your Stevie Rays, your Fabulous Thunderbirds, but mostly your Stevie Rays, I think, and your ZZ Tops, they really were a bit like Australian stuff. They were playing stuff, but it had to raise the level of energy because they're in bars and full of Texans doing tequila shots and all sorts of things, breathing fire and
that's right,
toting guns.
Toting guns.
Which we've seen all of it out
there.
Yeah,
chow. You guys are great, chow.
So looking at and this is as we saw from the other episodes, I came from this real sort of a lot of folk and a lot of blues sort of stuff, and Richie's he was into more of the melodic sort of new metal, I guess, at the time. So I sort of went from that with classical guitar, like classical guitar as well, which was
I did too.
Hence the lovely fingernails. If you're a classical guitar player, you know what I'm talking about. We use our fingernails. So anyway, talking about the Beatles and the Stones really covered the crapola out of Chuck Berry. So let's just start there, and then I'll get into a bit more. I like a lot of the Chicago blues stuff. So the Chuck Berry stuff, I mean, obviously where's my volume?
I need to click something.
Oh, what?
Stand by.
Hang on, we got to make
technical.
This is a click. We call this a click in the. We're in the TV business now.
I can't even do it backwards.
You can't do it backwards.
Nah.
I find it hard to do it forward at my age.
Try that.
I know it's got to be a good cable because it's Fender Custom Shop cable.
Yeah, it's good.
It's Fender Custom Shop all over here. This is a good one too. That's Richie's. He's going to bequeath it to me, I think. There we go.
Bequeath? What does that even mean?
I think that's leave it in your wheel. But
right.
I want you to shake this mortal coil at any time. All right, so if you're talking Chuck Berry, I mean, everyone just goes.
I can see it's all downstrokes.
Yeah. All downstrokes. And you're talking about Rose Tattoo. This is where it comes in Australia. It's just, downstroke is a business. Now, we talked about Mick Cox from Rose Tattoo. He was the downstroke guy in Australia. We went trying to keep up with that right now. Kids today go, yeah, come on. It's all downstrokes. So, Chuck Berry.
That truly is.
Chuck Berry. There's a classic Eric Clapton thing where he said everyone plays Chuck Berry. And all these younger generation out there that go, who's Chuck Berry? You're playing Chuck Berry. You don't even know you are. If you do that, you're playing Chuck Berry.
That's right. The Ernie's. He was the Ernie King.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's just ubiquitous with electric guitar playing. So, why did it turn into bars? Well, Chuck, they did the circuit for the 50s. They were doing gigs with Johnny Cash. They were doing Jerry Lee Lewis. All those what's his name, Richie Valens, all those cats. What was the other guy with glasses? Buddy Holly, all that stuff. So Chuck's like, they're doing bills, And he's like, I'm going to blow these guys off stage. So, and it starts to go like that, you know. And there's a scene in Back to the Future where, remember the guy, he rings up, hey, Uncle Chuck, I found that sound you've been looking for.
Yeah.
Sure. So there's a lot through that. Fast forward to Australian pub music, and AC/DC absolutely covered Chuck Berry in school days. Up in the morning after school. It's all that sort of stuff. And we used to play on Morocco.
Yeah.
Right hand, right hand, right hand, right hand. Can't sing that high. That's what Bond used to do. So, you know, from that, you know, the Chuck was from St. Louis, but he was signed to Chess Records, which is from Chicago, which is where obviously the Stones wanted to record at Chess Studios in Chicago. And they did, and they met, that's the famous story, they met Muddy Waters, he's painting the ceiling. And they're like, whoa, hang on, that's like God, why is he painting the ceiling? And they got that lesson, the blues guys that inspired everyone didn't have any money. So the Stones brought them back into the fold, and they actually had careers after that. So there's another guy that they used to spruik to, Howlin' Wolf, and I actually play a lot at Howlin' Wolf. Probably his most famous one, and I'll probably play this lick wrong because I haven't played for a while, but I never remember it.
Very nice.
That's Smokestack Line, right?
Yeah.
Hubert Sumlin, who died at like 95, 96, and was still playing pretty good, actually, right till the end. Famous story where Muddy tried to poach Hubert Sumlin.
Oh.
And Howlin' Wolf, who was like 6'6", literally, I think he said, you try that again, motherfucker, and bang. And Muddy's like, yeah, he's your boy. So, some really good old blues stories there. But that lick, okay, so I just want to talk about that Chicago stuff. And then you got like, you know, Buddy Guy came out of there too, right? So when you look at, and I just want to go right down to Texas now, and you got guys like,
The Stevie Ray area, huh?
yeah. So you got like Jimmy Vaughan, Stevie's brother, the Fabulous Thunderbirds,
Oh, yeah.
ZZ Top. Now, I'm pretty sure both those bands in the 60s toured and played with Hendrix. Right? So that's how far back they go. And Stevie was the little brother that cut his teeth on this stuff, right?
Pretty much.
And here's another thing for guitar nuts. I believe this is true, that this is a great story if it's not, that Hendrix bequeathed, gave...
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, gave Jimmy Vaughan his Vox wah pedal, and I've heard and read this many times that he gave that to Stevie Ray, and that's the pedal, the wah-wah that he actually played was Jimi Hendrix wah-wah.
Oh.
So
He made it himself, actually.
you can confirm that or deny it, you guys. There's a little research task for you, if you will. So anyway, we're going to. I just want to go to Stevie Ray now because we're talking that bar, that energy of guitar, that right hand, which I'm going to flip in a minute. And then, you know, this sort of just leads the way. I don't think people realise that bands like all the first Australian guitar bands, even from Billy Thorpe to Kevin Borich, Lardy Dars, all that sort of stuff. Kevin, I know, is from New Zealand. I think they know this. They feel it. And I think I said to you once. I remember Angry said to me, Angry Anderson, that is, he goes, "Well, mate, it's just like you play like an old guy." And it was the best compliment I could ever hear because he said, and I said, "Mate, I learnt through all this, and I knew where you guys got it from because I was into all this American and English old 60s stuff, and I knew where they got it from, blah, blah, blah." So that was a cool thing. And I hate to say it, but it's a dying thing too, the way we play and the way we look at instruments, you know. Now you got these lovely college boys on Triple J going... Sorry, I'm being facetious.
You are being a bit
Bit of a head wobble. But what happened I'm really sorry, but that's a real big loss in the fabric of society, if that goes, that sort of stuff. Anyway,
I don't think it will. I don't think it will. I think that the obviously the turnaround with guitars becoming trendy again, like your Stratocaster and your obviously Fender, and them pumping them all out more. Obviously the beauty of the Les Paul coming back through, obviously through Slash and stuff like that. Yeah, they'll get it. They'll always be there. It won't be as. Depends on how tough it's going to be, but you know, it's if you're going to keep producing these guitars, they'll have that sound. I mean, like for instance, up the SG. I mean, really, what else do you use this thing for?
I like his optimism.
But I mean, what else do you use this guitar for apart from?
Yeah. The fear is I think that when we talk about all this, because we're talking about like pub rock, which is the same as bar music, and that's what's gone. And
that's what's gone. Yeah,
and that opportunity, I think, too, of having so many venues, bars, pubs, to turn up an amp and rip it out. That's what we're losing. Yeah, that's the shame. And that's
like in like say your Memphis and your Tennessees and stuff. We played that place Elvis was playing. Elvis playing. So they were like little church halls and stuff.
Yeah. I think I mean, look, you got Australian bands like Airborne who are fantastic. They're knocking it out. They're massive in the in Europe. They're doing a lot of business in Europe. They're old school, you know. They're old school Melbourne boys from the suburbs, and they're certainly out there. So anyway, look, they're getting back to rocking and entertaining a crowd. As I said, I think the vibe in Texas, they understood us because it was the same as what all the real tough blues cats were doing there, you know. So I was just talking about all these downstroke things, right? And we're just talking about Howlin' Wolf, though. And we're talking about all downstrokes, but let's throw a backstroke, an upstroke. Yep. That one.
Nice, isn't it?
Now that was like, that's got to be 50s Chess Studios Howlin' Wolf, Hubert Sumlin. And Stevie just grabbed, I think, bits like that and Albert King licks and Freddie King licks and just pubs full of piss and vinegar. Yeah. And just annihilated those things and took them to a whole other level. There's a little thing here too that I've been showing a couple of kids lately. It's that quarter note. It's not that. That's Triple J, College Boy. Mm-hmm. This comes from that comes from deep in American blues history. This quarter note. And the singers used to sing quarter notes, and that's why they sound so painful and so soulful and so passionate. The funny thing is that doesn't exist on here, and it doesn't exist on a piano keyboard. Where's that quarter note? There's a semitone. Where's the quarter? Oh, it's in the ether. We're going to make that with magic. Yeah. So I dig that.
They do it. It's like a.
And all the great black singers they sang for life, for freedom, to get through another day. And if you hear like even Robert Johnson from the 20s, who wrote Sweetheart Chicago and Crossroads and all that sort of stuff, he's got the soul of the devil apparently. You can just hear it. You can hear how they learnt to sing and play properly, and it translates in guitar. So I think great guitar players that phrase not correctly, but phrase passionately and succinctly and make it talk. There's a lot of that quarter note. You know, like he's the Triple J College Boy. It's not the same, kids.
You like Triple J though?
Well, they used to feature us. We had top 100 hits, the Screaming Jets. We were album of the week until we became too commercial on about the fourth album or something. Anyway, we digress. So let's get back to that upstroke. It's just, it goes with the drum thing too, but Now, when you hear that stuff, you do hear, if you know Stevie Ray, you go, okay, that came from somewhere. Now, this is what Stevie Ray, he got into this sort of stuff. And this is getting back to that, Leonard Skinner called it jukin'. Jukin', yeah. We call it honkin'. And Stevie Ray was one of the kings of this. It's like a Texas shuffle that was invented from this, I think. It sort of goes, his thing was, and I'll just bastardize this. So the right hand, it's just not stopping. Now, one guitar band, they didn't need two guitars, but Stevie really mastered that, you know. It's all that sort of stuff, you know. So that's a pretty cool thing too, I think. And you know, when you hear Stevie, you know, he was all into the all that. That's all Chuck, you know. And then obviously he had all that, the Albert King stuff, all that sort of stuff. So anyway, there's a really good lineage through that. There's a really good lineage, and I think the point I'm trying to make is that playing live creates a beast that you don't get if you're not playing live. Playing live in front of people that are drinking moonshine and what do they call it in the state? White lightning. I think it was some sort of crazy ass moonshine. Jack Daniels.
Rehearsals will never do it. You can rehearse all you want. What comes out on live on stage, you just go, wow. Yeah. And one gig live is worth at least 50 rehearsals. Yeah, absolutely. And when you really get that connection of people collaborating and the electricity of that and the zone, which I was talking to a young Max Schmidt the other day. Yeah. There's a guy that saw us probably our first 4 years in Sydney, and he said to me the other day, and I hadn't spoken to him for many years, and it was wonderful to hear this. He said, mate, you don't see that anymore. When you guys, five guys, fused, it was just, I can't describe it, you know, it was just this thing that was just, it was magic. And it was that zone, it was that energy, it was that, you know, five people like this, you know, nothing could pull it apart, and we'd trust each other and make that sound together. That's what we're missing with the creation of new music now, where people don't actually want to get in rooms and rehearse and I mean, we used to spend every spare minute in rehearsal rooms or doing gigs. Yeah, the rehearsals that we were doing though, we were definitely trying to make something, like make new music, or it wasn't like going over a routine or anything like that. Yeah, it was definitely to create. And that was great. It's like our rehearsals. Yeah. We're on stage. And you know, when I'm saying that, I mean, that just brought flashbacks of every song that we ever wrote, you know, from Richie coming in with, you know, whoa, okay, stop that. That was the next 3 hours of rehearsal, just banging that song out. But yeah. There was meticulous, the parts of it. And even though, you know, I got rhythm in my stride, all that sort of stuff. That comes from blues. That comes into that. You know? That's right. Anyway, that's you can't replace the hours and the hours of not only playing on your own, but with a group. When you look at Stevie Ray Vaughan, it doesn't work. It never happened without Double Trouble. That was a band. Even Hendrix. I mean, I did a Hendrix show for a long time, which is sort of on the shelf, I think. Maybe 10 years or so, playing with, you know, the greatest Australian guitar players like Steve Edmonds, Jack Houston, Pete Northcote, Ken Borich. Forgive me if I'm missing anyone. Stewie Fraser, just the late great Stewie Fraser. My God, what a player! It's funny that you know. I don't know. They understand all this sort of stuff. You know, there's a lineage there, and I just hope that's not lost. But
the Hendrix thing, talking about bands, I remember saying to Stevie Edmonds once, who's quite possibly just the most. I could watch that guy play all day and just go, oh, Steve, I don't know what, I don't even know what to say. I don't know. He drips it. I said to him once, I never realised that the Jimi Hendrix Experience, which is the first two albums, was such a band effort. It's a bit like for kids, Nirvana, Nevermind. If you hear Bleach, it was like, oh, okay, there's sort of, yeah. But when Nevermind came out, it was a band. It was three guys that really made the magic together. And when you hear, I think Cream's the same, you know, people that went, oh, no, Clapton's better than them and he should go out on his own. I think everyone sort of went back and went, no, listen to what Cream did.
That's right.
Jack Bruce and Ginger Baker, there was magic in the band. For Hendrix, it was that Mitch Mitchell, Noel Redding. When you hear those albums, you go, oh, okay, I get it. That just wasn't Hendrix. Yeah, Hendrix was fantastic, but I think they all lifted him.
That's right.
And that's what we did. It's like, you got a song, let's lift it up. I got a song, let's lift it up. No one was like, oh, no, but my song's better than yours. It's like, no, that's yours. We're going to make that as great as we can.
Yeah.
And it was like, so we took on the support role of, let's build this song. There was no us and them or holding, I might hold this song for my solo album. There's none of that. It was like, no.
There's a solo album coming out next week.
Yeah. And you know, you heard a lot of bands break up before them started with that attitude. So anyway, looking at a bit more the sensitive side of stuff too from that blues stuff. I was talking last week about a lot of the major stuff from Rolling Stones, and I think it could be fair to say that, like, I think Keith Richards obviously had his own, you know, we were doing this sort of stuff last week, which is really Keith, obviously. Hendrix had a way of fusing the major minor too, which was different again. He had these really weird, I've got to remember, I haven't played this song for
he would
years.
hold the note for quite some time.
Like even that sort of thing. So he'd sort of have his own way of doing it, like, yeah. Again, I can't remember it, but when you hear Hendrix do his major stuff, even like what's the big one? My other favourite Hendrix song, one's Wind Cries Mary, the other one is. I'm not going to go any further because I'll have to remember it. I have to learn that again. But the major stuff now, that's just so, it's so Hendrix. And then he did the, was it? What? All that sort of stuff, like. That's his way of doing a major thing.
Yeah.
And I think Hendrix sort of and Stevie, they really invented their styles from just playing. The other thing I loved about the first time I sort of learned this sort of stuff was definitely Chuck Berry, and you hear this in John Mayer. When I first heard John Mayer, I was like, wow, this is cool. It was sort of, to me, it was a weird thing, but I sort of stood up and went, there's something going on with this guy. And then as he's progressed, you go, oh, he knows his gear, he knows his guitar players, and that sort of stuff.
I think that the Hendrix was right out there. I mean, like, he was really into Dylan.
They all love Dylan, yeah.
They all love Dylan, and Dylan was. You know, he was blues, but he was also obviously on the outer side of that box where that's where Hendrix was loved to be. You know, it's like a it's incorporating the majors and the minors and the offs and the beats and the thing. And Dylan was a magician with that sort of stuff. And
Yeah, I mean, the big one obviously, Watchtower. I know that's a name. I know they're doing different key. I know.
But nevertheless, it's a major-ish sort of a thing.
He actually does it. C sharp minor. But anyway, tuning's different. Blah blah blah. But yeah, I think with that was whoever that was that covered Dylan. I just think they all went, oh God, we sort of got to bow down to the altar at some point. And how do you write lyrics like this too? You know,
that was his biggest thing, and he did say it in a few interviews that he struggled with that for years, especially with his voice and how to get his voice into that what he wanted to say.
Yeah, I think he some of his songs I think found a megadom through other people. But look, I'm a Dylan freak. My son's name's Zimmerman. I mean, what are you going to do? But just going back to your guitar playing and all that sort of stuff. It's the mystery, isn't it? You got the playing, you got the where did it come from, you got what gave it the energy, the whole bit.
How it influences you. How look at the influences they did, both Hendrix and Dylan. It's like
well you look at Hendrix. I think was inspired by the lyrics of someone like Dylan. The thing that I hate is that when you look at the Hendrix lyrics and the Stevie Ray lyrics, people forget that they're great lyricists too. So anyway, that's about all for this episode.
I think so.
We'll see you at the next one. Coming up is a little riff of ours that we're going to invent on the spot.
Fill those holes.